Hello. That would be the YouTube and the VK, and I will hang here for a while this gains viewers, and I will switch to Instagram. Well, because the multitasking has to be happening, so we click live on Insta as well. I am now live apparently. Okay, so disclaimer as usual, I do have to say that I have to be here streaming to two platforms and over here streaming to Instagram live to IGTV. So yay. Marney, that's the name. I do believe you might have seen me before. I'm kind of a long-term speaker on this channel and the Sky Teach community called me up again, and here we are. Hello everybody. Hello from the Mediterranean. This time I'm currently hanging at the Mediterranean. Can everybody hear and see me very well? Throw some thumbs up into the chat to prove that you do. Hey, you guys are waving. Well, hi. Hello. All right, so that was a long string of hellos, wasn't it? So little quick recap of hi, okay, thanks. Yes, you see me, you hear me, beautiful. Sound check. That's all working. Marnie, a born German with a with a little bit of Russian ancestry and really speaking Russian, and US educated, so basically American in the headspace. That's one thing. Another thing is I work in cognitive neuroscience and I work in education, so my projects deal with both learning, hands-on learning, the classroom learning, right? And ooh, what is the brain doing there, right? So I'm currently not with any lab. I previously was. And I'm waiting to do the PhD basically, so that's why. Given any commitments, but that's just a little brief short intro about me. Hi everyone. Happy to see so many of you here today. What is it? A day off with you guys? Where are you joining from? What are some time zones here? Anyone from somewhere where it's already night? Somewhere from Asia? Anyone somewhere around Moscow? Well, tell me where you're from. I am in Cyprus, and today we are talking about, while you guys are messaging me where you are joining from, I'm just gonna drop three big, wonderful letters here. Post. CLT. What is CLT? And I will pin the comment. CLT is, I'm sorry, YouTube, I switched away a little bit. It is the communicative, right? Communicative. Well, the spelling. Language. L stands for language. Teaching, right? That's the communicative language teaching. That is the topic I am going with today, and pin the comment. I'm gonna read some cities here now. Yeah, SPB stands for St. P, probably not. What are we gonna discuss? We are gonna discuss communicative language teaching today. I really don't know where it is. Would you be so kind to explain to me communicative language teaching, aka CLT? Yeah, that's right. And well, that's the method now, right? That's the thing everybody is talking about these days. It's trending. It's actually just like basically one thing in the education, in the language learning. Kazakhstan or Sultan. Hello to Kazakhstan. Thanks for sharing where you are. It's one thing in the language learning that is officially there. It's is the best. It provides great motivation in the learners. Moldova. Ooh, we are multinational here today. All right. So, anything you guys know about Ukraine? Cool. About CLT. What is communicative language teaching? Like, what kind of thing is it? Anything you can drop in the chat so I could kind of build on and base off of to get our cool conversation going. That would be really nice. Yakutia. Oh, I know where it is. It is for the brave, definitely. It's probably really cold there. Okay. While you're writing, what type of thoughts come up in your mind when you hear CLT or communicative language learning? I'm just gonna begin. Okay, that's based on the idea that learning language uh, is level important. Gonna jump into that a little later. That learning language comes through, well, only if a person has a need to communicate, right? So talking and speaking aspects and teaching language. All right. Well, communicative stands for communication. Definitely, like that's a well, that's one way to go here. And learners have to cannot stress this enough. They have to be involved into communication, real life communication, right? And well, that is how the natural strategies of language acquisition start happening, right? How do you acquire language? Well, when you're a tiny, teeny, tiny little baby, your mommy or daddy talk to you, your extended family, everybody canoodles you, everybody says, "Where's the baby? Here she is, right? How big is the baby? So big." And you spread your arms too, you point, you coo. The grown-ups coo back. Language acquisition starts right there. You might say, like, Marty, whoa, whoa, hold your horses. Why exactly are you trying to tell us about babies here? Human brains. Well, they're wonderful, and I study how they learn, and we all come from there, right? We all come from the teeny tiny language learners. We once were while we were acquiring our mother tongue, right? And that's the idea behind communication language learning, communicative language learning, is that, well, you have a need to speak, you need to communicate, and this will allow you to use the language, right? You might not be fluent at the beginning. You might not be like super accurate too. Again, we'll talk how to build that and what challenges that presents. Tell me, you guys, what actually did CLT replace in the language learning? What was there before, like long, long time ago, like the 90s, the 80s? How did people learn language before communication came around? While thinking, taking a little sip of water here. So basically, how it worked was that you were giving um, a lot of articles and books and text, and it was called grammar translation method, right? You probably have heard the GMT, the grammar translation method. I'm just gonna, because the CLT, right? The GMT. So here you are. Here, GTM actually, grammar translation method. So yeah, well, it was that. In your opinion, does the grammar translation still have any kind of, well, just right to exist within the language learning space, within the language teaching space, anything like that? Like, do you use this in your classroom? Do you translate? It's not a sin. It's not completely entirely bad. It's like yeah, a little bit old, of course, but uh, in case you're wondering, I'm not gonna go on a tangent here, but just like slip a little um note that yeah, it might be beneficial. I teach like language two only classes, like the language that the learner is supposed to learn. That's the only language of communication. I had earlier streams on that, so well, I'll not use that because I do not know. I never normally, almost never, share the same language with my learners, so it makes it kind of harder. Um, is your learner's first language the same, you guys? Could you share a little bit if that is not too hard? Well, hi, the newly joined participants. You see the pinned topic over here, right? So the courses, how do the courses look? You open your, I don't know, child's textbook at school and you see at the beach, right? At where else? Like at the doctor's office. Where else can we go? We can go to a grocery store, right? For grown-up learners. We have a business conference. We have the after work drinks. I don't and the topics get like funner and funner, definitely, all within this communicative approach, right? Um, it comes in two versions, so two versions. Like I mentioned, well, my classrooms personally would be English only because, like, why would I try and embarrass? I don't know. It's not about why would I try and embarrass myself in a language that I don't know, but yeah, like that's totally okay to do. Mm, it's just that, while you're using one language, they're pushed to activate their passive vocabulary storage, right? Well, so that is like the stronger version. That is the immersive version of communicative learning, where you just throw them in the deep and you get them to talk, right? I will give examples of advanced learners and lower level learners and how that works for them a little bit later, right? The weaker version of CLT is what we have in our curriculums, in what we have in every textbook, basically in every school on earth now. I read a study on Bangladesh yesterday. Bangladesh students, you know what, they don't really like the communicative approach so much. What do you think the stumbling blocks can be here? Like, can it be hard for the students potentially? Like, what can be hard? Like, what do you think, you guys? What a lot of time. So, compared to the old version grammar translation, right? Compared to that, why can communicative methodology be in any way conflicting in their little hearts? What do you think? Well, in case we're speaking group setting, first words. Okay, okay. In case we're speaking group settings, imagine how many children are there in the classroom, right? In case it's not like strictly one-on-one grown up with a grown up online classroom, which is like, yeah, that's perfection. Just go ahead and advertise your methods. And that's easy, right? Like barrier to speak, exactly. Yes, like people would just not be ready to open their mouth in many, many cases. Yes, thank you. Wonderful answers. Thank you so much. Exactly. And also, even with those grown-ups in a one-on-one classroom where, hey, look, nobody's listening. I know you, you know me. Like, what can the problem be? They would still go and say, "Oh, this topic is so dumb," right? And I really do not want to talk about it. And this is where communication kind of stops in a way, right? And you are there to get them out of this mental state, right? You are there to sort of, well, nicely navigate them and create that communicational need, right? To create that communication need to, well, there has to be open communication here. Okay, let me finally, I'm getting into those examples that I promised. So here we go. um, just yesterday's night, really, really late, was off really late. I had a conversation with my Polish student, so we do not share a mother tongue. He's a C1, he's pretty advanced. He works with British people, so that is, well, there is no barrier there, right? Like you guys mentioned, no, there is no barrier. And well, what is there is that he just wants to talk. Well, can we just let them talk? Can we just basically turn it into like a community tutor on italki type of conversation? Is that okay? Think, what do you think? Because seems like um it works, right? it works. Where I'm from, good one. Germany officially, that's where my passport is. I don't really go there, and I went through the American education system, so that made me me, I guess. That's where I'm from, and I travel. I'm a digital nomad. I'm currently in Cyprus, and we were in Europe, like basically just going around Europe, waiting for COVID to shoosh down a bit. Okay, so you guys, with advanced students, what might the barrier be? Can we just let them talk? Hey, you're a good user of the language. They are a great user of the language. What some of the stumbling blocks like that might potentially just lurk in the deep there for you? Because there will be, right? There would be something. All right, so while you guys are gathering your thoughts together, I'm just gonna give you a little bit. So, are they gonna take anything home from that class? Yeah, there is a chance they will remember stuff, but how about all the good things that they taught us at our schools, right? Um, well, how we should present the vocabulary, how we should have like the pre watching little step, right, where we ask them to predict things and infer things and all of those things. Right. So, yeah, the topic might be problematic. Exactly. But just leaving them to talk to you freely, they'll be making mistakes. Intermediate, they're afraid to be judged. Great. Thank you so much for your answers. Great thinkers here. And well, I would say, like, how do you exactly teach them accuracy? All right. At an intermediate level, coming back to my previous sentence, let them chat. Let them build that fluency. Let them build the safe place, right? Let them just be happy in your classroom and all this grammar that you want to teach them, once you enter that accuracy stage, which it should not be too far away from each other. Some advanced students are very sensitive to your comments. Oh, they might be. Yes, once you start like straight on hot mistake correction, they will be like, shut down, power down. I don't want, no, switch topic. Right, I agree. I mean, both language and the meaning of what they say. Yes, that's true. They would feel like you're putting them on the spot or something, which shouldn't be. So contextualizing grammar might be a little tiny bit hard in this case. Mm, in this case, I like to bring some type of authentic materials, which is like it's something that goes without saying at this point. Materials, they have to be authentic. I didn't even think it was a concern before I went to teach in Southeast Asia, which was, oh, oh, that's what you have in your textbooks. That is very, very interesting, right? That is not authentic sometimes. So it has to be proved, and you have to draw on the language that is spoken currently. There is always a question like, hey, so in that one book, I saw that conditional, and she said, if I was you, I would be doing this and this and this and this. I'm like, yeah. And I've seen that too. And in the books that I read or in the movies that I watched, I hear that. And I hear that from American people that I talk to on the daily. And language tends to simplify itself, right? And well, try to give them a little bit of a like assistance, not in the authoritative form, I would say. Uh, one thing. Another thing, vocabulary, right? How do you like make it stick? Communicative need for the win. So back to the Polish student I was talking about. He wanted to talk about cancel culture. He gets really triggered by it. It's very important to him to know how to express his thoughts in this particular area, right? So guess what he took home? He took home all the whole word family of the word to ostracize, right? Because it's just necessary, right? Once you start talking about something like that, you need the word. You open your mouth and and you just need it. And hey, that's why I'm teaching you here. Here's the word for you. Here you go. Then you tell them the word family, sort of like in a little like nonchalant way. And hey, well, here's. Would you please close the curtains? Is that too annoying? Yeah, sure, no problem. We do that. This one closed, I guess. All right. Oh, that's a bit darker. Yeah, right. I just didn't occur. That's why the curtain, yeah, is there. So, well, another word he got for me yesterday was mob justice. You guys know? You probably do. Like, why wouldn't you? But I'm just gonna put it down. Whoop. Gonna put it down anyway. Post mob justice. And I gave the example with it of Freddy Krueger, the Nightmare on Elm Street, right? For him to have this big visual that is not going to leave him very, very soon. And uh, because why? Because those teenagers, they burned Freddy, right? They did the mob justice. And then I gave him a synonym. I said, hey, like mob crowd justice, right? We can also say crowd justice for that. And then when we were about to continue, I was like, actually, like a bunch of kangaroos together. It's not only people, it's also animals. So a bunch of kangaroos together is called a mob, a mob of kangaroos. I was like, oh, I never knew that. I was like, yeah. Do you know what like a bunch of wolves or dogs called? Like, yeah, sure, a pack of wolves. That everybody knows that. I'm like, all right. What are some other examples you guys know when the animals like hang out together? Like a school of fish kind of thing, a pack of wolves. So we came to that wonderful place where he asked about cats. And a group of cats is called a clouder. Then it spurred a whole big, Big Bang Theory, plethora of jokes, and the Sheldon Cooper. He wanted to have a clouder of cats, and yeah, well, then he came back with a question. Hey, is there any specific name for a baby dolphin? I'm like, yeah, they're calves. They're dolphin calves. So you see how this works. You like just if you were there like live, like we're here with you now, you would swoop in and you'd be like, hey, that's a conversation class. You're a community tutor. You're not teaching much there. I was like, wait a second. All right. Well, he's a C2. Oh, he's a C1, right? And that's one thing. We got to keep him interested. Oh, he needs to talk about what he needs to talk about. Students call the shots at this point. One thing. Another thing is that, well, he did take that home because we're likely to remember when we have visual association tied to it, when we think the way basically kids think. I was talking about how babies' brains learn right at the beginning, how kids learn. If you've heard of the system called unschooling, this is how they learn, right? Not that there's a curriculum, but you choose where to go. You want to write number 2 for 2 hours, do it, right? You want to ask me, hey, what are the baby dolphins named? I'm going to answer, right? And one question spurs the other question, and that's a chain reaction, right? Uh, so yeah, basically, that's my point here. What do we do with elementary zero beginners here? It's a bit harder, right? Yes, it is. But you also can create a communicative need for them, right? First off, there are no true beginners in this world. Nobody's a true beginner. Everybody knows how the letters of the English alphabet read. Everybody is aware of the 1, 2, 3 and the A, B, C. Chain reaction is wonderful. Yes, yes, that's like the moment of truth when you're like, oh, the angels are singing. My classroom is doing amazing. So, at this beginner level, everybody knows this first class, but that's supposed to be communicative, right? Hi, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. What's your name? My name is Annie. Bye, Annie. Nice to meet you, maybe. Okay, that's it. Bye, bye. They both say bye. Like, what was that communication about? Like, do we talk like that? Like, seriously? Hey, what's your name? Bye. And like, kind of, yeah, just get out. Take off. Done. No, you need to like give them something. You need to hey, how I don't know, my friend said hi to me today. Like what's up? Just chilling. Not much. Or, hey, what's your name? Anita Farting House? Is that your name? And it spurs the need to ask to spell the name. It spurs the need to ask again. Can you say that? Did I hear you right? Is your name Salami? Salami? That's what you're saying? Well, that's a wonderful name, right? I never heard a name like that. So start with a joke and put a little bit of a need, a communicative need, so that they will want to open their mouth, right, and talk. So you create that, you talk with like dolphin calves and kangaroo mobs. You go there, and yes, in a way, it's unschooling. The communicative approach does have to have big focus on skills, reading, writing, listening, speaking, right? And sub skills, like in each category, there's a lot of subcategories, and less focus on the system, like of the pronunciation, the system of grammar, system of vocabulary. Not entirely sure about the system of discourse. I still think that discourse is it. And yes, everything has to be contextualized. So when this chain reaction starts happening, what actually happens is that they forget they're talking in a foreign language. They forget they're talking to a foreigner or a teacher, and there is no authority figure on a situation anymore, which is like, oh, does it just make your heart happy? Um, one more thing I tell them is like, for shy students, for introverted people, you guys also mentioned this. It might be just a little bit too hard to go there, even if they have that need. That is not crucial. It's not like their life depends on that, right? They might still, skip one and just like sit there and listen. I'm like, what, you guys, you paid money for that. You came here, you're English speaking, Chinese speaking, German speaking machines, just like robots, like click and go. Whatever you can say it, put it out there. That would be great. Like you are getting your money's worth, and I'm getting, I don't know, happier by just conducting this class with a lot of participation. So, zero anxiety circumstance to be. Um, those lessons are largely learner centered, right? We capitalize the needs of our learners. We always do the needs analysis. Communication has to be meaningful, nothing like no outdated stuff, of course, please, 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 like that's a no-go anymore. And unless it's like history and something that helps you understand the cultural code, like reading the Christmas Carol about Scrooge, or reading or by Dr. Seuss, just helps you understand the insider jokes, right? Which creates the need for real communication again, right? So you provide them with a chance to explore, make those mistakes, right? And do not correct them on the spot. Let them build the fluency. They might know more than they know they know. That's the wonderful, yeah, piece of thought, of course. Like, yeah, they do get surprised. I had a lot of surprised faces in the classrooms for the past 10 years. I did not know I could say that, right? Like, once you really get them to talk. Uh, and well, just pick the topics accordingly. People are likely to speak much, much better about what they know better about, which is, again, nothing new here. Well, uh, incorporating grammar and vocabulary is a tougher situation, but contextualize always, right? It's perfect for a big classroom where, well, you just facilitate it. You just like push the buttons and they collaborate and they share, and you're just this facilitator. When it's a one-on-one classroom, they have to communicate with you. So make sure your personality, is well, it's weird to say like your personality attracts, them to talk, and like them in general. It has to be right. Has to like something catchy in there, a provocative thought, right? A controversial little comment. They might get to talk about it, right? If they don't like it, skip, skip, skip. Then, well, I don't know. Like, I guess, basically, in case we do not have any questions, um, I just gotta wait for a little tiny, tiny, tiny little bit here. Say that I'm gonna be back with St. Valentine's vocabulary really soon in February. That's one thing. Personality is so important. And you can have your like fake teacher personality. That's okay. Oh, actually, I get asked a lot. Is this your personality? Yeah. I'm hyper. I'm not okay. So I do jump and dance like this all the time. So do not be put off by this. And no, I didn't have a coffee just right now with tons of sugar. No, I didn't. So maybe it is interaction. It is a lot of like face-to-face communication that I do. Well, either way, like whatever style you are with, more communication, right? And don't forget that systems are still there. We're not doing math without numbers, right? Well, they want the scaffolded learning, but they don't want to know that there is there's the scaffolding, sort of. And well, are we tricking them into thinking that? I'm not entirely sure. I guess you're just facilitating the learning in this case, right? Well, okay. In case there's no more questions, I'm gonna wait for one more minute. Um, Check support. Agree. You can drop them under like in the comment section later because well the SMM can get back to me with questions. And I could answer them, right, in case it's anything academic, like of academic interest. So we'll be back soon with something more entertaining or maybe something within the brain realms. As I mentioned, the scientist. So that can happen in case like I don't really want to bore you to death. Ice break. Oh my gosh. You have to see, yeah, you have to see the person there. Like who are you interacting with? With a little child who's like 4 years old and has just entered the classroom. I don't know, little fart pillow will be great for an icebreaker, right? With a professor in climate change, I guess something in the way of like, hey, an intern here, like, what are we learning today? Would be a nice icebreaker. It all really, really, really depends on who is there in your classroom, right? First thing, find something to relate. You cannot just drop a joke there without knowing who you're talking to, unless they're four, But even those people, they are picky. They can, oh, teenagers, oh my goodness. With teens, uh, well, treating them like kids is horrible, of course. Treating them like grown-ups is the best way. Same for little children, basically. Uh, as with grown-ups, well, sometimes, telling that yes, you understand and yes, you get, but those are not icebreakers. I'm already going on a tangent here. So yeah, I do. Well, I have this one where whenever I have a pronunciation accent reduction class, I'll be like, that's an oldie, okay? You guys all know it. So we are here to study pronunciation today, and I want you to bring your lips to a little, like, spread it out a little bit, right? Bring the corners of your lips a little wider apart like this. Like, yeah, good. This is the expression for the day. And you just like make them smile. Protrude your lips, like move to the side, up and down, and hey, that's it. Just put it right here. Put the smile on their face right from the get-go. That's my icebreaker with tough crowds with pronunciation. Okay. Oh, righty. Any more questions, you guys? I hate to brag, it's my day off today. I mean, really happy about it, of course. I hope you enjoyed it. We will, apart from the Valentine's situation, we're also going to be doing a joint stream with a wonderful neuro coach very, very soon. So another scientist will be joining me. I'll be doing the brain comments. She'll be doing the neuro coaching agenda. Okay, so thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And well, this is so cool you came. And woohoo! I'll see you all really, really soon. See you. Bye. Bye. Bye, YouTube. Sorry, spaced out a bit.